When I look at the end product from these cameras, I just think to myself, wow.
You can see detail there.
A year ago, I purchased this beautiful, amazing camera. And I'm gonna say this now, I don't regret this at all. It has been an incredible addition to my kit, and it has basically solved the issue of needing an A camera. In the work that I was doing, I was struggling because as much as I love the Blackmagic 4K and as much as I love my Lumix cameras, I always felt like they were lacking a bit. There was always something I wanted more out of them, and I needed some kind of system. I needed an all-in-one camera. And well, as you can see, I went with the 6K Pro. This is not gonna be a typical review of a camera. This is going to be, how does this camera worked in my kit over the past year, but also what have I learned about this camera in the past year? Because I do think there are some things that people should be aware of when it comes to the 6K Pro. The work that I do is corporate videos, brand videos, events, conferences. I'm also getting into documentary work. So this camera has really fit into my workflow over the past year for a few reasons. One thing that I knew I wanted, but I didn't realize how incredible it would be to have them is the built-in NDs. There have been a few interviews where I was on set and I'm thinking to myself, like, the overall image is a little bright. What if I were to add ND? Well, in this system here, all I have to do is press plus and it adds 2 stops of ND. Whereas if I wanted to originally, I would have had to screw on an ND and then I would have had to be like, hey, does this work? And if it didn't, then I have to screw it off. So they've really been convenient, but also like in El Paso, when we're traveling, I wanted to stay light. Right? Like I don't want to have to bring a bunch of extra things. And so I think for me, like that convenience factor when it comes to the NDs has been nice. And then I also talk about the convenience of the screen, how there are times when I just want to tape the camera bare bones and run and go. And I think that like I do that a fair amount. And so having something like this that I can just kind of run with a small package and be very kind of discreet in a way is really nice, because then I can just take the camera with the screen and I don't have to worry about whether or not I have a bright enough screen, whether or not I have the monitor placed how I want it, whether the monitor has power. If I need to go up high, you can tilt the screen down. If I need to go, real low, you've got it there. Bringing a monitor or bringing multiple monitors is just more you have to pack. The fact of the matter is I can just take this with this monitor and I don't have to add one extra, and it allows me to just be compact and it just makes my life easier. So having a screen attached to it, and one that's as good as this, has just been awesome. And then I think like the biggest thing is the image. It's not soft, but it's not sharp. It's got a good quality image. I don't want to say filmic because, well, that brings up a whole can of worms, but it looks beautiful. When I look at the end product from these cameras, I just think to myself, wow, that looks good. The image quality is probably the best selling point about these cameras is their image quality. It's very ARRI-like, but it's also very pleasing and appealing. It fits perfectly into my workflow because I do a lot of kind of run and gun, just kind of capture what I can and then turn it into a video. The fact that this camera has everything that I've talked about just makes it very easy to run and gun with. A lot of people think, oh, I need to buy the new camera because of X, Y, and Z, but in reality, if you just learned how to use your camera that you had, you'd be okay. And so for me, like that's the kind of way that I think about this, is that like I've been in the Blackmagic ecosystem for so long that the ecosystem, the menu system, the camera itself, just second nature. You add in all of the stuff that I wanted in like a Pocket 4K, and it's now in a 6K body style. Yes, please, I will take it. With every good thing though, there are some bad things to note. The lack of IBIS in this thing. If you're gonna be using this, get an easy rig or use a monopod. And then there's also no weather sealing. I was recently shooting a football game and it was raining at the start and I had to find my way under like cover. It definitely limited the shots that I could get and the perspectives that I could get. And then also the file sizes are really huge. So something that you need to be aware of, and you'll definitely want multiple SSDs, but also a lot of archival storage space for these things. An average interview can be 200 to 300 gigabytes from this camera versus 118 gigabytes from the Pocket 4K. That is something to consider. The general frustration for people with this camera is that it's a little bit awkward to rig. Depending on how you want to rig it, it can be complicated. For the most part, what I've done here is put a Anton Bauer base on the bottom. I've put my rails from Wooden Camera on here, and then I have a top handle, mic, and SSD. So this is a pretty basic rig, but this is kind of how I run the camera mostly. It's not the most easy and intuitive camera to rig, but it's definitely not the worst camera. People make it out to be like it's a terrible camera to rig, but in reality, I don't believe that. After a year with this camera, for the most part, this is like the perfect camera for what I do. And I have zero regrets in buying this camera because it has not necessarily made me a better video production person, but like it's definitely helped me get to the point that I want to be at faster. I think there are obviously definitely people that I wouldn't recommend this to, but I think overall, this camera has really been everything that I wanted it to be and more. I don't always do camera review videos, or I don't always talk about cameras, but this is such a special camera to me that like I wanted to talk about it, and it's been a year. So thank you for watching. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you want to subscribe to see more, the subscribe button's down there and the notification bell is there so you can be notified when I post more videos. With that, I'll see you in the next one.